rifle to look at today. Welcome back to the channel. This is a Mosin Nagant M9130. And this particular one was produced at the Izhevsk factory in Soviet Russia. And what's cool about this one is it is pre-war. So it was produced in 1939. So about 2 years before Germany invaded the Soviet Union. So if we look here, if you can see it there, we've got our 1939 and the hammer and sickle up top. And what I'm going to do today is going to go ahead and disassemble this just to show you how. And then we'll probably do a little bit of cleaning. This rifle is actually not that dirty, to be honest. It does look like, at one point it was possibly refinished. It's probably been a while, just judging by it. But it's really actually pretty clean. But as I do with all my rifles, once I get them, I take them apart, inspect them, clean them. So you'll go ahead and get an idea of how to disassemble this gun. This one doesn't have a bayonet on it currently, just a cleaning rod. But everything else is good to go. Looks like original strap here. And yeah, this one, it does have this on it, and I'm really not sure what the significance of this is. Looks like it says 71. I'm not sure if this is something someone put on there, later on, or if it came with the gun, or what the purpose is. But I'm not taking it off for now, so I'm gonna leave that on there. If I have to take it off, I will, but right now it's not in my way. But whenever if I end up boiling these parts, this will have to come off because it's on there with a plastic zip tie. But anyways, it's actually a very beautiful gun, and mechanically it's in great condition. So yeah, let's go ahead and take it apart. So the first thing we want to do is remove the bolt from the gun. So we'll just go ahead and get it up. We'll rotate our bolt so that it's facing up. And then we'll basically pull the bolt back. Then when it's all the way back, just pull your trigger and that will release the bolt. Okay. So now, once the bolt is out and good to go, you'll take your cocking piece, which is right here, and we're just going to rotate it until this is in that groove. Okay, so when it's in that groove, then we can just basically pull this out. So now this is off, and this piece right here, we are also going to rotate that right here into this groove, and then it'll just slide right off. So that's the first step, and you have all parts taken off of that side. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and remove the firing pin. So it is under spring tension, so just be aware of that whenever you're trying to remove this. So we are going to use this to actually get the firing pin off. The good thing about Russian rifles is they were really made to be able to take apart and put back together in the field without, a lot of tools. So it's very cool that a piece of the gun you can use to take apart something else. So since it's under spring tension, I'm just going to face it down. We'll put this guy right here, and we'll go ahead and start rotating it a little bit. And there she is. So now the cocking piece essentially just pops off. So we're good on that. We're good on this. We don't need that. Okay. So now that the spring is popped out, we can just pull the firing pin out. And then we got our spring. And that is it. So if you look at it, look at all the parts. Pretty simple design, but very intuitive. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and remove the barrel bands from the gun. So you have two different barrel bands that are held in place by springs. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and remove the strap because we'll need that off to remove this band down here. So of course we'll push down on the spring, and then we just want to remove the band over top of it and off of the barrel and the hand guard. That way we can remove the hand guard. So you can push down on the spring and then kind of knock at the band a little bit to come off. So just so you don't hit the wood, what I'm going to use is a very thin flathead. That way I'm only touching the metal portion right here, and I'm able to get the band up over the spring. You can do it by hand, but this is just a little bit easier. So I'm just going to press down on this right here, pull this up, so get it up pretty good. Okay. So now that is up. Let's see. Okay. So I've got that up over top, and I am just going to give it a few more taps there. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and take the back barrel band off. I've already removed the cleaning rod to make it a little bit easier. It's just a screw-in cleaning rod, so nothing too hard there. I'm using a flathead to get a little bit of leverage here, but I'm not putting it against any of the visible wood. You want to make sure that you're not hurting that. But you also want to get leverage on the band. So I've got a little bit here. I'm prying at it just a little bit. Let's see if I can get this guy off. All right, got a little bit of movement. Let's try to maneuver it a little bit. Just get a little bit of a tap. Okay. A little bit more. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. So now I've got it, and I'm just going to pull this, maneuver just a little bit, just down the spring so it's not as tight. Okay. Okay, and I'm kind of maneuvering this. It's still pretty tight, so just trying to go slowly. Okay, it's beginning to slide off with the hand guard. Okay, almost there. All right, so now let me go ahead and pull this up a little bit more. Alrighty, so now got this one. Slide over that pretty easy. Okay, and now our hand guard should come right off. So did pretty good, no damage to it or anything like that. So now we got our hand guard off. Very nice. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and remove the follower spring assembly. So on your magazine, there is a latch on the bottom right here. So we want to go ahead and pull that and just open up the bottom. So we'll just kind of pull that a little bit. Alright, now that we got it open, so what we want to do is just squeeze this right here. So squeeze it together, and then it will just come right off. So whenever you squeeze this, it opens up and you can just remove it there. Very good. So we'll set that off to the side. Um, Now there are two flathead screws that we need to remove. One on the bottom right here and one on the top in the back. So we'll go ahead and get started on those. Go ahead and remove the bottom one first. So this is the shorter one, I do believe. Now we'll go ahead and remove our one on top. Yep. So there is our longer piece from the top. Now we should be able to just remove this part. So just go ahead and pop off our barrel. Alright, barrel should come loose. So we got it right here. And then now, as far as this goes, we should be able to, let's see. Yep, should be able to just pop this off. Yep, so now we got our barrel off and we have our plate for the follower spring assembly magazine. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and take off the butt plate. So on your butt plate, you have one screw right here up top, and then you have one on the back right here. So just two flathead screws. So we'll go ahead and get those off. Starting with the one on top. And the one on the back. Alright, so now we got our butt plate off. It doesn't look like it's been taken off in a very long time, if ever. Alright, so we're pretty much done with the stock, nothing else to do there. On our barrel, we want to go ahead and remove the trigger assembly. So there is a pin, of course, on the trigger. So I'm just going to use a punch and punch the pin out. So let's do that really quick. Okay, got our pin right here. Switch this out and put a flathead on it. So now there is one flathead screw right here. So we are just going to remove that. That should work. Good deal. That thing was on there pretty tight. So just keep in mind, it can be tight, so you always need the right tools. I use the hollowed flatheads. That way, you know, it has a much better bite and it is less likely to come up and nick a different part of the gun that you're not wanting to mess with. And I'll actually show you the kit that I use for that. And I got it off of Amazon. It's a very nice kit. It is Willer Gunsmithing Screwdriver Set. So this thing comes in handy a lot. So, anyways, we have that out. So we took out the pin, then we took out the flathead screw. So now let's see. We should just be able to, yep, remove our trigger assembly. So we have this and we have the trigger. So I think this may be about as far as I'm gonna go with the disassembly. I could take these sights off, and they're not very difficult to take off. But I'm not going to do it here just because it really doesn't need any, you know, super detailed cleaning right here. Everything looks pretty good, so I'm going to leave them on there. But yep, got everything else taken off and just going to clean it up really good. And I'll see you in the next one. Put the